And welcome back. We're here at downtown Denver at Mile High Sports Radio here with Rich Jones, and this is Ultimate Politics. I'm your host, Wade Norris, and Rich is here from the Bell Policy Center today talking about some of the amendments. We've talked about Amendment 58, 59. Briefly again, tell us what does 59 do, and then 58 and how we should vote on them.
59 basically is the SAFE amendment. It will create a savings account for education, for K-12 education in the state. It will allow the state to retain all those revenues that are generated by the economy that would be above the new Tabor limit when it comes back in 2010. Education, K-12 education is a big part of state government by providing a savings account that sort of backs up the K-12 spending. You're basically providing a savings account for overall state government. Within that, it untangles the sort of conflicts between Tabor and Amendment 23. More importantly, it preserves those who are under Tabor the ability to vote on taxes. Amendment 59 does not affect tax rates at all. It just allows the state to retain those revenues that are generated by current tax rates, puts them in a savings account. The state education fund, that a part of it goes into a savings account for education. For those who are at the local level, it is basically debrucing the state at the state level.
Debrucing. So this would be an investment in basically no change in the taxes, just the way the money is allocated for K-12.
What it would do is it would be able to put more money into K-12 education down the road from these. We're in a kind of unlike any other state in the nation, we're in a position where as revenues come in, once they go above a relatively arbitrary limit, then we have to send that money back out to the citizens. We could be in a position like we were in a couple of years ago where we both have to cut and at the same time provide rebates. What this will do is to say, look, whatever the revenue comes in, if it comes above this line, we're going to put it into education. It's going in a state education fund, and a portion of it is going in as a savings account that can only be accessed if the state's economy turns down, and therefore provides a backup, not only for education, but it provides a backup for overall state government.
And with the way the economy is going nationally now, we could be heading for another downturn in the economy where we'll need this savings account.
Yeah, in fact, we may be, just on the news this morning talking about the bailout and the effects of that down the road. We may be facing a very weak national economy, maybe in a real recession, one that actually where we do see negative economic growth in some of the months coming forward. So,
okay, well, we've talked about the SAFE Amendment, the savings account for education, 59. So we're saying vote for that. Vote yes on 59.
The Bell has endorsed and is supporting Amendment 59.
And that means I am too.
Yes on Amendment 59.
So the other one that's causing the big controversy is Amendment 58.
Right.
And that's supported by various groups, including Governor Ritter.
Yes.
This would eliminate the tax loophole. It's called a severance tax, but I'm just going to call it a loophole. We've got, since, I guess, 1977, a situation where the oil and gas industry is just getting a boondoggle of tax rebates, basically, or tax write-offs in the amount of...
Well, yeah, what happens in 77, there is a tax credit that oil and gas companies can claim up to 87.5% of the taxes they pay, property taxes, to the local level against the state severance taxes. Estimated in the fiscal year 09-10, that's worth about $300 million a year. And we're the only state in the nation with severance taxes that has this kind of a tax credit. Our sense of it is you could do this, you'd end up generating, again, $300 million. About half of that additional money would go to college scholarships, need-based scholarships for kids, low and middle income students, allow them to go to college. We'd be following the lead of a lot of our other energy-producing states, again, like our neighbors to the north in Wyoming, who have a higher effective severance tax rate than we do. We can do that without affecting are the price that Colorado citizens would pay for gasoline or for natural gas to heat their homes in the winter, and we can do it without really affecting the drilling industry, which is, again, a very important industry in the state of Colorado, provides a lot of jobs, a lot of good paying jobs. They're here, the natural gas is here, they're going to drill for it. These are relatively minor components on how the prices are set. They are going to continue to drill here.
And it's my understanding that the oil and gas companies, most of them are international companies, national, or at least national, but most likely international companies that basically see Colorado as a place where they can make a lot more profit, because we are not, we haven't been smart enough to keep that extra $300 million for our infrastructure. And it's really unfair, because they're getting a free, kind of almost like a free ride for these natural resources that they're taking out of our state, out of our tax base, and making extra money on the free market. And as we all know, the oil and gas companies right now are making some of the record profits, not just in that industry, but in any industry. They're making unheard of profits. So for them to say that, gosh, this is really hurting us, is somewhat of a misnomer. It's a drop in the bucket for them.
Yeah, and again, you just look at what we're the only state in the nation that has this type of tax credit on the property taxes paid, this ad valorem credit. And our sense is, you're exactly right. We're taking out of the state oil and gas and other minerals that are very valuable. We all own them as citizens. They're owned by the citizens of the state of Colorado. We need to get a fairer value for them, because once they're gone, they're gone. I mean, we can't replace them. And so we need to get a more value for them, and then I think be smart about it and take that money and invest it in something that's going to really help us in the future.
Like higher education.
Like higher education, alternative energy research, mitigating the environmental effects of the oil and gas drilling in the state, in the parts of the state where it's being taken place. And I think those are all good investments. And again, if we look at it, it makes sense. It will not affect the drilling activity in terms of the number of jobs or companies drilling in Colorado, and it is going to have no effect on the prices. Those prices for both natural gas and gasoline are set by national and international markets.
So both of these amendments, it sounds like they're both related to investing in the future of Colorado. On the one hand, Amendment 59, which we're supporting, we want to support, would invest in a savings account for K through 12, which is the future of our education of our coming up population. And then 58 would invest in higher education. So both of these, to me, make a lot of sense. There are ways to invest in our citizens of Colorado, in the long-term future of Colorado, so that we have a way to have a more educated workforce, so we can compete not just with other states, but, as you mentioned before,
around the world.
Yeah. Well, Rich, thank you so much for coming on the show. Tell us about your website, where people can go to find out about what the Bell Policy Center has done, as the research, the graphs, everything.
Okay, you can get any of the materials that we produce. We recently did an issue brief on Amendment 58, and that's www.thebell, all one word, .org. And you can see there's links there to email us, to ask us other questions, or download all the other research and products that we have. We're also putting some summaries of all the other amendments that are on the ballot this year. So if you're confused about what's going on, you want to learn a bit more, you can go to our website and download some of those one-page summaries that are, if they're not up there now, they will be up here in the course of the next week or so.
Hey, Rich, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And this has been Ultimate Politics down here at Mile High Sports Radio Station. As always, I'm your host, Wade Norris, and I've been here today with Rich Jones from the Bell Policy Center, and we're telling you that if you're sensible and you want to support the future of Colorado's education and the future of Colorado's economic development, you'll say yes for Amendment 58 and 59. And signing off, this is Wade Norris. We'll see you next time. Thanks.